87.
Greetings and salutations. It is the greatest episode of Query and Schultz presented by Bailey and Wood from the Lou Malnati studio, because this is the greatest year of my life. 87 is the episode number that we are on, and 1987, Derek, I was an 8th grader at Eastwood Middle School. Indiana won the national championship. Jay Edwards and Lyndon Jones finished their three-peat. Alan Senior
Purple
won
Rain.
his 4th Indy 500. Indiana defeated both Michigan and Ohio State in football. The Pan Am Games were here. We've talked about it before. The Colts made the Eric Dickerson trade. It's the greatest single year in Indianapolis sports history. Episode 87.
Yeah, it's where you peaked. I mean, really,
mustache looks horrific.
it's where you peaked. Well, it's not a mustache yet. It's still a beard.
Whatever it is, it looks horrible. It's
I've just been cultivating this
It
over
is
the last
disgusting.
couple of weeks. We're ready for the big reveal later this week.
What's your wife say?
She is completely repulsed by it.
Yes, it's
yeah,
disgusting.
Yeah, she
It's now completely grown over your lip. You can still trim it.
no. Unlike past years, I have not trimmed a single hair since mid-April. So this is about 5 weeks
It's awful.
right here. This is about 5 weeks that we have going. But I bought oil. I've been putting conditioner in it. It's like a very fertile, it's like I'm growing corn or beans or whatever else. Like very relatable, right? Indiana. But I'm growing it on my face. That's how I'm treating the mustache this year. It is going to be the most beautiful. We talk about this returning to normalcy. Like, this is a celebration of the greatest spectacle in racing, and this is my tribute to it. This, what I can grow on my face.
If you were a corn farmer, it would be, you'd have terrible crops, because knee-high by 4th of July for you would be like, yay, right?
You mean it would be overgrown? Are you saying that I'm lacking with this?
I'm saying if your corn was knee-high by 4th of July, your knee-high is like this.
I usually don't like being touched, but do you want to touch it?
Touch?
The mustache?
No.
Because then you would see how thick, there is all thickness here. This is no filler. This is all natural. It's a little greasy because I put oil in it before I came in today.
That's
and then
why
I have
it's
a comb.
disgusting.
Well, it helps it maintain its shine.
You look like Nigel Mansell.
And also softness is what I'm
Do you
going
remember
for,
Nigel
too.
Mansell?
Like a
For
nice...
Nigel
soft.
Mansell with the greatest soundbite in the history of the Indy 500 when Scott Hoke walked up and Nigel Mansell sitting on his golf cart. Hey, Nigel, do you have a second? For what is this for? WRTV, we're the ABC affiliate here in Indianapolis. ABC local or national? No, the local ABC affiliate. Nigel Mansell looks at Scott Hoke, looks down, and just pedaled up in his golf cart.
Well, he brings that arrogance to the table.
You look
for
like
sure.
Nigel Mansell with your mustache.
Well, thank you.
The field is set for the 106th running of the Indianapolis 500-mile race. Scott Dixon is on pole for the 5th time in his career, joined by his teammate Alex Palou, and then upstart second-year driver, or third-year now, driver Rinus VeeKay.
Third year.
On the outside. Third year for Rinus VeeKay, yeah, who still has a chance to be the youngest winner in the history of the event. But Derek, impressive what Scott Dixon did.
It's just unbelievable what this guy can do at this place. And I know that until he wins that second one, it'll always be, well, he's only got one. You know, he's very much the Colts of IndyCar, where you celebrate the one that you have, but you think to yourself, man, it would have been great if Peyton and company could have won in 09 and in 05. And you think about the near misses that Scott Dixon has had at this place. But when it comes to qualifying and the fact that he just reaches down and finds something. I know that it sounds cliche, but sometimes it just completely comes out of nowhere. Like, he didn't particularly have a great week. Right. And then they come in and the weekend and they just kind of take over everything. The Ganassi cars were just all over the top of the speed charts, and what he did pulling 234s. I mean, it was get up out of your seat type racing when it came to the qualifying run.
Here is my concern is the wrong word, but you tell me if this makes sense at all, Derek. I had this weird feeling, and I said to several people going into it yesterday. I remember I was walking on pit road. I saw our buddy DJ, and I said, I feel like Dixon is either going to win pole or the race, but not both. Like, this is one of those years where I really felt like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I could see Dixon winning this year because it would be a year when you least expect it. And all of a sudden, it's like, don't forget about Scott Dixon, and he wins the race. And then he comes out and wins pole, and I'm like, I don't know, though. Now, like, the attention's all on him again, right? And, like, the focus is all there. Does that free up his teammate, Alex Palou, or a guy that, quite frankly, I think is going to be in the thick. I'm not saying he's going to win it, but Simon Pagenaud starting 16th in a Honda engine, I think is really smart. I could see him working his way up. But Dixon, we didn't hear a lot about throughout the course of practice, and then boom. When it mattered most on cue, he and Mike Hull break out this car that's faster than everybody. But is he going to be able to sustain it with all – and, I mean, listen, when I say with all attention on him, he ain't going to feel any pressure, right?
Sure.
But still.
I mean, we'll see. It would definitely change the narrative about this year so far, which has been Chevy dominant.
Right.
And I think qualifying really –
Dixon here, can you see this photo? Does she have dip in her pocket?
No, I don't think she doesn't. She's a classy woman. I don't think she dips. Dipping is – I did that for like 6 months. It's gross.
Did you?
Awful, yeah.
What was your dip of choice?
Well, I do Skull, mint, the blue tin.
For 6 months?
Because I was trying to stop smoking. I'd started smoking pretty heavily when I was 18, and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore, so I'm going to start dipping. And I had a lot of friends that played football, so they couldn't smoke during the season because they get winded and all of that, so they dip. So then I started dipping. Because I tried chew one time when I was 15, and I swallowed too much of the Red Man and ended up throwing up beneath the Trumbull High bleachers. That was a bad night.
How many times?
Just until there was nothing left.
Okay.
Yeah, I puked out everything that was in me, and then I dry heaved the rest of the night.
You pinched the skull.
Awful. Yeah, so I did the mint. No, up here for the dip. Chaw would be like Chipper Jones you put in the side.
The dip that you put in, you were going through like a can how often?
Not super often.
Were you the guy that would break it out and like
Oh, yeah.
and do the whole deal, the production? Yeah. Okay.
That was the coolest part about it. It's kind of what attracted me to cigarettes, too, when you'd get the pack and then you
Did chicks like the dip in your mouth? Like, were they impressed by that?
Not particularly, no. I did okay. That's my answer always to that. I know you like to press me on that because you think that nothing happened for me, but clearly when you can grow something like this, eventually I matured and
But you weren't able to grow a mustache
blossom into a nice
24,
flower.
25, right?
No. Actually, I was able to grow body hair. I didn't hit puberty until I was almost 17, but once it hit, it really took.
But weren't you taking like human growth hormones till you were like?
I don't want to. I'm not interested in talking about that on the show today. It's Indy 500 week,
I think
and
that's
we've
right,
got some
though,
other
right?
things to talk
Injecting
about.
and stuff?
There are some things that I may have shared with you in private,
Right.
but
You were like Ivan Drago.
well, you know what? It was 98. McGuire and Sosa, testosterone and HGH was kind of the talk of the town, and I just wanted to get on that train as a prepubescent 15-year-old. So we went to a couple of consultations, but no, it was all natural. Once puberty hit for me, it hit.
What were your overall thoughts about any surprises or non-surprises for you with the field?
I mean, I was surprised that Honda was all over the speed chart. I was surprised with the speeds. You know, I know we've got the boost and everything, but those old speed charts, Jake, if you look at them, it's like 96, 96, 96, 96. It's all from that year because that's when the cutoff happened. And now to see a bunch of 22s in there, including Rinus VeeKay, what was the third fastest ever?
Yeah.
And then Dixon, I know there's this weird kind of qualifier with it. Well, it's the fastest 4-lap average on pole day, right? Because Ari is still the fastest qualifier, even though
he was underweight, and so therefore his car was withdrawn, and he had to go back on another day.
Yeah. I mean,
why are you?
Part of me kind of rolls my eyes at that. That we have to put in like these disclaimers.
I don't know why that seems unfair.
But the fastest a front row, we can say that without any qualifiers attached to it at all. And I think we'd all agree that I don't want to go back to pulling like 239. I think there's a level that becomes unsafe.
You're right.
You are right. But we're maxing out, I think, what is safe. And it's just better than – remember, Jake, I mean, we did answer questions in the month of May not too long ago about are they going to even pull 230?
Right.
And now to have them blow past that, it's significant.
How did you think the crowd was? I couldn't tell where I was. Really?
Unbelievable. Now, to be fair, I haven't attended a lot of poll days because – and I'm not trying to sound like I'm complaining – you and I would spend the entire week of practice out at the track.
Right.
So by qualifying weekend, I was tired. I mean, I was zapped out. So I like just kind of relaxing and watching from home, wheeling a TV outside or whatever else and watching from home. So I haven't been to every poll day, but of the poll days that I've gone to me, it was by far the biggest crowd yesterday. And the energy was great too. But it was perfect track weather. I was talking with Alan and Jordan about this. To me, mid to high 60s is the best possible weather because you're moving and walking around so much that it doesn't feel cool.
You're right. It's comfortable.
Yeah.
You're right.
Whereas when it's 85, you're moving and walking around so much that you're covered in sweat.
Hard for me to walk around the garage area, though, and keep moving. You know what I mean?
Oh, I got stopped like crazy. I must have seen everybody that I've ever met in Indianapolis yesterday, including a bunch of fans.
Fans of?
Me. Derek Schultz fans.
Okay.
So I was helping out with...
You had family in town?
107.5 The Fan and 93.5, which you've got the shirt on right now. I was helping out with some garage coverage where I had to go to the garages and talk to people.
Really?
Yeah, which was difficult because there were only 12 drivers that were even doing anything really yesterday.
Who'd you talk to? Which drivers?
Pillow.
Okay.
I caught him on a scooter and I said, "Hey, Alex, do you have 2 minutes for me for the radio?" And he says, "I have 1 minute." And I said, "Okay, I'll take the 1 minute." That was the only driver I was able to get.
Did you go more than 1 minute?
Yeah, we went 2 minutes. So I got my 2 minutes. But he gave long answers. I talked to...
Do you think it's weird that they didn't put the two of us together on the fan coverage?
I don't think they're going to do that.
It's like they wouldn't allow it. It's like the president and vice president can't be on the same plane type deal.
Yeah, it might be that. I just think it would create just like this huge like seismic event.
I don't think so.
I don't want to overshadow. It's such a special place. I don't want to overshadow it. Like I don't want to be like an arrogant, you know what I mean? Like think I'm too big.
You know, Derek, just so you know, when I was walking into the track, and I don't want to make you jealous here. I was walking into the track on Saturday, and a guy came up to me and said, "Where's Kevin?"
Oh, wow. Okay.
Kevin and Query, mornings, 7 to 10 a.m., 93.5, 107.5.
Yes, as many know, and Kevin is a friend of mine and a very, a great partner. I mean, that brand isn't where this brand is yet. It can get there eventually.
Did you have fun doing the post-race, though?
Well, I didn't really do...
Or post-qualifying,
Post-qualifying.
Right? You did pre-qualifying?
I did. It was the local window before qualifying. Right. And then there was qualifying, and we kicked it over to you guys at the network, and I went home.
Yeah, Saturday was rough because of the rain and everything else. And
Saturday I wasn't on the crew. I was at the I had an ISC event on Saturday, so it was Sunday only for me. But I think it was a good day, and I think we're going to have – I know there's been some concern about passing, but I think, Jake, the real equalizer there to me is that the talent is so widespread throughout the field that I still think we're going to maximize what's there.
Yeah,
you know, people are expecting every race to be like it was from, what was that streak, like 2012 to 2015 where it was just berserko.
Yeah.
I think we're still going to have a really good product coming up here on Sunday.
Do you expect that you will be able to watch it live legally on NBC?
No. You better be able to watch it on Peacock, though. Because if I signed up for Peacock and IndyCar told me, and I saw their advertising, get every race on Peacock, and I live in Avon, and I'm paying for Peacock, I darn well better get the race, or else I'm going to be real bleepy. Right?
Okay.
I think they're smart enough over at the track to know that they can't black out Indy people on Peacock paying customers. They better not. Because if they do, then I'm going to get real crappy on Twitter as well, and I've got a fairly large following on there. So
what will you do?
Oh, I'm going to tweet about how angry I am about it. Because I want my dad to be able to watch. You know, my dad has blown meniscus in both knees. He's 70 years old. Right. He can't, as much as I love the 500, I don't want to get on my rant every year about the blackout. It is very, very difficult to attend in person the Indianapolis 500 if you have any physical limitation at all. And he loves the race, and he wants to watch, and he wants to watch live.
Will he stay awake during the race?
Oh, yeah. That's like the one thing that he stays awake during.
Does he listen to the radio broadcast?
Yankee games, golf. Two things fall asleep. Yankee games and golf for my dad.
Will he listen to the radio broadcast?
I don't know. What do you want me to say? You want me to say that he syncs it with his TV or whatever, like everybody does?
I do.
Because it's just so great. Oh, my God. Like the IMS radio network. It's the most amazing call ever. You guys are just unbelievable. How do you know each other and have such chemistry? Wow. It's so awesome.
Yeah. It is pretty good.
It's great. It's great. I mean, I think the problem is, Jake, is that, you know, unlike me, I think you sometimes have a little bit more of an inflated self-worth.
Did you say I have a what was that?
I think you have a little more of an inflated, I don't want to say ego, that sounds too harsh, sense of importance. Like, I think I'm pretty grounded. Like, if you ask people on the show, like, who is, like, kind of the more, you know, humble, grounded person or, like, more checked in with reality of where the show is, where he is, I think most people would say me. Whereas you have always been kind of, don't you know I'm on the IMS radio network and, you know, your personal brand and stuff like that.
I don't think I've ever said that to anybody.
Well, I know what you've said in private, too. So maybe that's part of the conversation there.
The thing with the blackout, Derek, and listen, I certainly hope that everyone listens to it on the radio because
It is a great call. All kidding aside, it's amazing what you guys do.
But I understand NBC paid a lot of money for the television rights. And a big part of Roger Penske, I think's vision with the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, understandably, is maintaining a really good relationship with their television partner. And if NBC is wanting to be able to tell its advertisers, whatever it might be, what its rating is and what its viewership is, then it's probably important for them to have all 25 of the 25 biggest markets reporting, especially when one of them is going to have 70% viewership. So it would not surprise me if NBC is the one that says to IMS, you have to run the race live in Indianapolis.
Well, that's what it's going to take because, and I'm not saying this from inside knowledge, but the vibe that I get from IMS is that if it's up to them, they're never going to lift it. If they get pushed to do it, maybe, but they're not. Doug Bowles, and he's a great guy and a friend of ours and the whole deal. He's going to toe the company line there, but they have no interest in lifting that blackout. They want, because once you lift it, then it's gone forever. Now you could lift it for the 100th race when you say that, okay, we have a sold out crowd, or you can lift it for the pandemic, obviously. But once you lift it under normal circumstances, it's gone forever because there's no putting the toothpaste back in the tube at that point. Fans expect it live, and then it's bye-bye. But to me, you came out really advertising Peacock and wanting people to sign up for Peacock, and you said every race, what is it, 17?
Yeah.
All 17 races on Peacock. If I'm in Avon or I'm in Crawfordsville or I'm on the south side, I should be able to watch the race on Peacock if I'm a paying customer.
Do you think when they put toothpaste in the tube, do they have the tube open and it goes in and then they just seal the top? Or is it a big flat thing and the toothpaste globs on it and then they fold it over and seal it?
I think it's like sausage. I think you just stick it in there and then
so the tube is already made.
Yeah, I think so.
It goes in the tube. And
I don't know that, but
we should take a field trip to a toothpaste place.
Yeah.
Crest was allegedly invented at Ballantine Hall in Indiana University, and that's why from the air the building looks like a toothbrush.
I went to IU and I never heard that in my life. All I heard about is the suicides at Ballantine.
That also happened, yeah.
Because every single year they were like,
some kid got an 89, couldn't take it.
Unfortunately, there were some tragic circumstances where people did jump off it, but there were all kinds of like urban legends about Ballantine Hall.
Can you look up the Crest toothpaste Ballantine Hall? If you Google Crest Ballantine Hall and tell me what comes in, and let's see if Ballantine Hall at Indiana University, one of the high-rise university classroom buildings, is shaped, in fact, like a toothbrush.
Ballantine Hall Crest toothpaste. I didn't really have a lot of classes in Ballantine outside of freshman
year. It was
year.
kind of like the catch-all building.
Yeah. True or false? Myths of IU. Okay. Fluoride. Time and imagination can bury the truth of a person, blah, 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 blah. You've heard it again. IU researchers who invented fluoride even heard that royalties from this invention funded the construction of Ballantine Hall. But is it true? Strictly speaking, no. IU researchers did not invent fluoride. They did, however, invent a formula for fluoride toothpaste.
Okay.
Which was and continues to be, a profound global health success.
Right.
The royalties from the project did not fund the construction of Ballantine Hall.
I never said it constructed it, but it's shaped like a toothbrush. Put in Ballantine toothbrush. See, this is the kind of thing
that is not backed up by any facts here
on this program. What's that?
That is not backed up by anything here in this article.
You didn't Google the right thing.
This is highly researched.
You Google Ballantine
and this is actually
Hall
from IU.
Like
this is not from like somebody's blog spot
but
account. This is from Indiana University.
Toothpaste was basically invented there.
That is not said in the article.
It's exactly what
fluoride toothpaste. IU researchers helped develop. Yes.
Okay. So it was invented by two guys.
No.
I'm just telling you.
Jake, I'm sorry. There are some things that you heard in 1987, the best year of your life, that were not true.
Two guys, Aqua and Fresh, invented it. I'm telling you. Everybody knows that.
I can verify that is not what happened. There weren't two guys named Aqua and Fresh.
Derek, did you bring milk? We've got to do our milk toast.
I did, yeah.
We are excited, by the way, to once again be the MCs for the American Dairy Association of Indiana's fastest rookie luncheon, which is going to be brought to you, of course, by 88 Indiana. I'd like to thank Brooke for coming by, the Director of Communications, Brooke Williams, joined me on the radio network for practice. Actually, I believe it might have been qualifying day at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And, of course, winners drink milk. We went over the milk facts when Brooke was on, and that is that, did you know that after a workout, chocolate milk, fantastic post-workout beverage? That's because one glass of chocolate milk offers you as much potassium as a banana, as much protein as not 1 but 2 hard-boiled eggs, and as much vitamin A as 2 cups of raw spinach. We do each and every week. This chocolate milk looks fantastic. Our Winners Drink Milk winner of the week. And, of course, on Sunday, the winner of the 106th Indianapolis 500 will continue the greatest tradition of sports, the famous swig of milk. And on Tuesday, depending on when you're watching this week, we will toast the fastest rookie, who, Derek, is
Romain Grosjean.
I didn't think you'd know that. Mm-hmm. Romain Grosjean is indeed correct. So
that's good. I got a little in the hairs, but it's good. It's chocolatey. Save it for later, because like later today I'll go like this, and it'll be chocolatey. So it's real tasty.
Can you
Thanks
do me a
to
favor?
Jenny and Brooke and Sally and everybody over there at 80AI.
Can you do me a favor, Derek? Tomorrow when we do this fastest rookie, first off, this is a disaster. I didn't even think about this. We have to MC an event tomorrow, a very prestigious event. We are 2 of like 3 or 4 people all time who have MC'd this event.
Yeah.
Can you either trim your mustache or offer an apology of professionalism about your mustache when we go up in front of thousands of people?
Well, I did. This is why I cleaned it up for tomorrow.
It looks horrific.
I didn't want to go straight mustache, A, because I didn't want to shock people, and B, because I wanted to do the big reveal later this week, but I trimmed it up. So
the big reveal to
took
who? Who was asking about this?
To my fans. To
you
fans
don't
of
have
Derek
any
Schultz.
fans.
I have a lot of fans.
The only fan you have is your wife, and she thinks it's disgusting.
I have 24 followers on TikTok. So
how many of them are over 18?
At Derek_Schultz, by the way, on TikTok.
There
are many adults on TikTok.
Okay.
There are.
Okay. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and do this, Derek, in advance.
Do you already know? Oh, you're going to pick your winner of the race?
Yes.
Okay.
No, not my winner of the race. Our Winners Drink Milk winner of the week. For me, because we are going to toast him anyway, and he went through a fiery crash to get to IndyCar from Formula One. He has become one of the most popular drivers within the IndyCar paddock.
If your name's not Ray Hall.
Correct. To come out and, look, he got loose in practice a few times. Things got a little bit dicey. It's not easy to learn how to drive ovals after being a road and street specialist over the course of your career. And for Romain Grosjean to still put himself into a situation to be the fastest rookie qualifier, I say bottoms up. My milk toast to Romain Grosjean.
As great as the young talent is, when Grosjean does what he does behind the wheel and Takuma Sato does what he did, hitting the wall, basically, it really is incredible what some of these veterans can do that really know their way around a race car and a racetrack. But I'm perfectly fine with Grosjean. Good. I think it's semi-ridiculous to call a guy that spent a dozen years in Formula One at, the greatest, as much as I love IndyCar, the greatest level of racing on the planet as a rookie. But what a performance. And what a performance from Jimmy Johnson. You talk about, he's got a lot of oval experience. Oval experience in a bathtub doesn't mean anything.
In a bathtub?
In a stock car.
That William Taft.
That doesn't mean anything.
He was oval. Got stuck in a bathtub. William Taft, just so you know.
Like I heard on the broadcast, Jimmy Johnson has more oval experience than the entire field combined, but I'm thinking, well, that might be a cute stat, but that's not really relevant considering the car that you're driving.
No, Derek. He's been in more 500-mile races than the rest of the field.
Okay,
combined.
Maybe that's what it was then. 500-mile races.
You know who gave you that stat?
Okay. I heard somebody say, I thought it was Nick Yeoman that said it, because I thought to myself, that's really smart. That's something that Nick Yeoman would say, not necessarily something that Jay Query would say. So that's congratulations, really Romain Grosjean, who we will see tomorrow at the rookie luncheon. We'll come back. Non-Indy 500 news, Trayce Jackson-Davis, a big returnee for Indiana. What's that mean for them in the Big Ten next year? Pacers fall to 6. I'll actually tell you why I'm optimistic about the Pacers and the number 6 pick.
Is.
It's all doom and gloom with the blue and gold. I'm tired of it. It's race week. It's time to be happy here on Query and Schultz. Back with more next on ISC Sports Network. This is really good.
Hey, I'm Jeff Saturday, and my favorite thing when I was a professional football player was Indiana. The Hoosier State always made me feel like family. That's why I trust Indiana's hometown mortgage lender, Bailey & Wood. This family-owned company not only gives back to the communities they serve, but also with their 5-star customer service, they can close on your dream home in days, not weeks. So remember, Indiana, you can always get your mortgages at a snap with Bailey & Wood.
Hey, Jeff, how does this look? Yay!
Not bad, bud, but let's stick to mortgages.
At an Indiana dairy farm, long workdays stretch into more labor after sunset. A newborn calf needs watching. Barn needs cleaning. Tractor needs some handiwork for tomorrow's tasks. Just like in your own home, the day's chores are never done until the family beds down for the night. Dairy farmers and their families share the same dream with all of us, that what we all do is worthwhile. Bringing to market pure, safe, and healthy dairy foods is what they do. From Indiana's dairy families to ours every single day. Learn more at winnersdrinkmilk.com.
Your life is on the go. Now your viewing habits can be on the go. With the ISC Sports Network app, your team is at your fingertips. You can download years' worth of content from the ISC Sports Network library. High school, college, special events, weekly and monthly shows, wherever you find your favorite app. And you can always find out more information at iscsportsnetwork.com.
Welcome back. Bailey & Wood Mortgage Lender presents Query and Schultz here on ISC Sports Network alongside Jake Query, who is part of the IMS Radio Network. I'm Derek Schultz, not part of a radio network, but a former radio icon and still prevalent media figure in Indianapolis.
Did you notice this shirt, by the way? I don't know. Let me show you. Notice this shirt. It's got a longer, you see in the back there?
Yeah. It's got a longer tail.
Mm-hmm. You know why that is?
Why?
Because you've been riding it.
Okay. Well, I don't know if that's really true if we're talking brand power when it comes to both the written word, Indy Monthly, radio, fill-in, stuff for Emmis, podcasting, Indy Star, and then this show, TV. So I'm kind of hitting you in all areas. Like I said, my ultimate goal is to hit all 5 senses. Sight, taste, hear me, smell me, whole thing.
Well, you
See
had
me.
the hot cup of Schultz.
Yep.
What about the scent?
Scent, too. I was working on the Schultz cologne.
Oh,
Hot scent of Schultz.
And what would that smell like?
Just they're actually trying to bottle my musk. You can, it's kind of like color matching. You can, basically you have these developers, they smell you, and then they can actually use that. They have olfactory, I don't know, wizardry, and are able to formulate something that smells like you. Like that's what Kobe did, or was it Kobe? Or Jordan had a cologne, right? Where they kind of had. It was supposed to be like his own sweat in it. So that's what I did. I gave them sweat samples, and then they smelled that. So I didn't actually wear deodorant for
Does it smell like
3 days.
An American Eagle dressing room and pack of smokes?
That's what the smell would have been in high school. I have a different scent now. It's more of a manly, you know, I'm still a newish dad. Like it's just a rugged, like I'm just a guy's guy. I think that's what people think of me.
What, diaper plastic and...
Okay, well, I'm not going to continue. If you don't have the maturity to discuss this, then it's not worth continuing on.
By the way, the Colts have a new quarterback, Derek.
What? That's out of nowhere. We're going to talk about Trayce Jackson-Davis and
Understood. It just happened. Breaking news.
Oh, okay. The Nick Foles thing came through?
Nick Foles,
Great.
2-year deal with the Colts.
Good deal. I think that's far less important with somebody like Ryan or Rivers. Anything's possible,
Correct.
but those guys play every game.
I think what it shows me is they think that Ryan is going to get them in contention to be within striking distance, and they want to make sure if he goes out for a week or two that they're...
Ellinger is a really nice dude and a great competitor. I don't think that he has NFL skills. To be like an actual starter, right. You're in a pinch, you've got to start a game, that type of player for them. Let's talk about Trayce Jackson-Davis' decision. I wouldn't say that I was surprised. I didn't think that it was the foregone conclusion that some people thought it was. I think a lot of people just assumed that Trayce Jackson-Davis was going to be back. And with the way he closed the season, I thought it was about a 50-50 shot.
Derek, he played really well.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, and it's unfortunate for him that he got COVID going into the NBA draft combine, and so therefore he couldn't do meetings with teams. And look, here's what is – I'm thrilled for him. He's a wonderful player. He's a great college basketball player. Trayce Jackson-Davis probably wasn't going to get drafted.
Yeah, if you look at the big boards, he's like in the 80s.
Right.
He's way down there.
Now, here was the only thing that and I didn't listen to the interview. I just went off headlines, and maybe that's unfair. But I saw a podcast that he did with someone where it said, like, he talked about how he wants to see a different philosophical approach for Indiana, and he wants to be shooting the ball more and show more of his range. That might be good for Trayce Jackson-Davis. That ain't good for Indiana. Thomas Bryant set the all-time Indiana record for field goal percentage in a season, and then came back in year 2 and was like, well, he's going to start showing more of his range to entice NBA scouts. That's great, except for that he fell to a 52% shooter for Indiana instead of a 68% shooter on the low block. And their offense, which under Tom Crean always kind of looked anyway like the Keystone Cops, just was terrible. So does Trayce Jackson-Davis want to come back to help Indiana, or is he coming back to help Trayce Jackson-Davis' draft stock?
I think he's hoping to do both.
I mean, granted, one may do the other, right? But
I think there is something to – Mike Woodson knows this too. Trayce Jackson-Davis is going to have to develop something as it pertains to a jump shot. He's going to have to be able to extend his range past 7 or 8 feet from the hoop. And the problem is that you don't want to end up forcing it. Right. And I hope that doesn't happen. And I think Woodson is a smart enough guy and a savvy enough guy with his NBA experience to preach that to Trayce Jackson-Davis. Also, he's a no-nonsense guy. I mean, that's something that we learned about in year 1 from Mike Woodson. So I just think, Jake, that it's hard, and it's really hard for me to say this because I feel like I'm rarely super blanket optimistic about Indiana. It's hard for me to paint this as a bad situation. I think it's a great situation for Indiana because I think you're catching the Big Ten at a great time because Illinois loses their whole team. You know,
Indiana could be a top 10 team next year.
11 of the 14 top scorers in the conference are gone. So basically, you've got Trayce Jackson-Davis and Zach Edey, and there's not a lot of individual talent that's coming back. Now, you might have a Johnny Davis situation where somebody just takes off in another year that maybe you're not particularly expecting, but you look around the Big Ten right now, and there's not a lot of reason to think that Indiana can't contend for a championship.
Now, if Trayce Jackson-Davis has a monster year, he still is not going to work his way into becoming an NBA draft lottery player, but, you know, maybe he works his way into first, second round.
See, I don't think he's a first-round pick either, unless something drastically changes.
I mean, I'm almost saying it just for the segment.
Sure.
The Pacers are in the lottery this year is what I'm getting at, and you're optimistic about it.
I am. It would have been nice to get in the top 4, get in the lottery, because I think, especially if you're in the top 3, you guarantee yourself one of Jabari Smith, Chet Holmgren, or Banchero. Because those are the 3 guys that everybody right now, that may change after workouts and all that, but for the most part, those guys are 1, 2, 3. Right. And then probably, well, it depends on who you talk to with Ivy. There's some people that strongly think Ivy's 4. There are people that think that Ivy should be the 9th or 10th player. But my point is that once you get past the top 3, I think 4 through 9 are pretty similar. Right. Like Keegan Murray, to me, like that group of guys are all kind of in the same mix.
I think the Pacers are, here's the thing. It reminds me of the 86 draft when they took Chuck Person. You know, you had guys in that draft that people thought were can't miss. You know, Len Bias, Charles Shackelford, either Keith Lee or William Bedford. I can't remember which one.
William Bedford was in that draft.
And Roy Tarpley. Mm-hmm. They took Person 6th, and I don't think that anybody ever thought that Person was a centerpiece player, but he was a nice piece for them. Then once they got Reggie Miller, you know, he became expendable. But Keegan Murray strikes me as the kind of guy, Derek, that's a nice player. Could be a solid starter for you, but not, you know, whatever. Probably Johnny Davis the same.
Yeah, I don't view those guys as high ceiling guys.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know that you are going to get a trajectory-changing player at 6. There might be some that could pay off that way. But are the Pacers in a situation where they can't afford that risk and they got to go with the safer pick?
But this isn't a draft. Let me address the first thing first. This isn't really a draft where there is a can't-miss guy. Because, again, it depends.
I think there are 2 of them.
It depends on who you talk to. There is a chance that Chet Holmgren is a complete stiff.
Totally. But I think Jabari Smith and Paolo Banchero are both great players.
There are questions about both of those guys, too, though. This isn't what my point is. There isn't an Anthony Edwards, LaMelo Ball, John Morant, Zion Williamson if he was healthy.
LaMelo Ball. Give me this much. I've never been right about much, and I'm going to pat myself every time it comes up. Do you remember the day on the air when out of the blue I just started our show and said, you know, I think if I had the number 1 pick, I would take John Morant or Zion Williamson.
The biggest question was Zion was never going to be who he was on the court. He's a special player on the court. It's conditioning and health and being available. And I guess where his head is right now, I'm not really following that situation, but apparently, like mentally, there's some talk about is he fully committed and all that.
Has he gained weight?
Just from what I've read, I think it fluctuates for him. Again, I've just been barely paying attention, but just from what I've barely paid attention to, that's what I found out there. But I'm going to try to paint this optimistically, Jake, because we've been so downtrodden about the Pacers. I think for them, you just need to stack young assets. Like Tyrese Halliburton, to me, is not a franchise-changing player, but he's a guy that could be a really good player for you for 10 years, 12 years. Right. You need guys that are going to be along for the ride with him for a while. And, you know, Chris Middleton's not a franchise-changing player, but you get Chris Middleton and you pair him with a franchise-changing player, and he becomes an all-star and a great player for you for a decade. And that's kind of how I view some of these pieces at number 6 or Halliburton or anybody else.
It's fun to have a top 10 pick.
Of course.
I mean, you know.
And it's what you needed. There was no reason. The Pacers would have gained nothing by being where the Knicks are right now and picking 12th and just missing the play-in round.
By the way, when it comes to the NBA and the NBA playoffs, sometimes guys start to emerge for the franchise different than where they were initially drafted, and then you find out, you know what, that guy is a good player. Which takes us to our Love That Play, brought to you by the good guys at Love Heating and Air Conditioning. Love-HVAC.com is their website. Telephone number is 353-2141. That's 317-353-2141. Love Heating and Air, been around for over 100 years now in Indiana, fourth-generation family business. Great product, knowledge of the product, and commitment to you, the customer, with 24-hour on-call maintenance and great prices. That's what you get from Love Heating and Air, love-HVAC.com. Derek, Andrew Wiggins, many people thought was a write-off by the time he got to Golden State, but he's starting to really emerge himself here, especially in the playoffs, and he had your favorite play.
Yeah, even though I think it resulted in an offensive foul, didn't it?
That's okay.
I mean, he dunked on Luka, and I think really it was I think really more than anything, it was just kind of like the punctuation mark. Because let's face it, the series is over. The Mavs aren't coming back from 0-3. I was surprised how many people thought this was going to be a competitive series. I mean, to me, this was the Mavs this year were the Hawks last year.
Right,
They're around ahead of where they should have been eliminated, and it's a great story, but the Mavs were never going to win this series against the Warriors. I didn't expect it to be as one-sided as it is, but just kind of the punctuation on the Warriors reminding everybody that, hey, we're still here and you still have to knock us off. What's fascinating to me about Wiggins, this may be a really bad comp, but I was trying to think of a comp that would be in both of our wheelhouses. A guy, you know, he's a top overall pick, right? So he was made to be this franchise-changing player, and he's not that, but he's still very good. So I was trying to think, who would have had that hype and not lived up to that hype but still had a very good career?
Kenyon Martin.
Yeah, but injuries, I think, were – I thought Jerry Stackhouse.
It's not bad.
I mean, he played like 20 years.
Joe Smith.
Yeah, but Joe Smith was more of a bit player. Like and I guess you can argue with Wiggins because the Warriors are still good. But, you know, Wiggins is an all-star at least. I don't think Joe Smith did Joe Smith ever make an all-star game? If he did, it would have been very early on.
He was around for a long time.
But I don't think so, yeah. But Stackhouse, I think, made a handful of all-star games, and he wasn't a franchise-changing player, even though I thought he was going to be at North Carolina. But he was very good for a long time. Unfortunately for him, he didn't play for very many good teams, whereas Wiggins has the chance to win a championship.
By the way, that takes us to Biter Bolschultz, right?
Yeah, I thought we'd do Biter Bullwhip a little bit early with Chateau Kitchens.
Bolschultz.
At Chateau Kitchens on Instagram and Facebook for before and after pictures. And, Jake, I have some before and after pictures of our completed shower.
Really?
Yeah, it's beautiful. So we're going to put them on the screen. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so this is the before. I mean, you see how gross that floor is?
What did you do to your floor?
Well, it was some of the construction dust and all of that first. But this is, we just threw a pedestal stink on there. Yeah, it's just bad. The floor was uneven. They never sealed it. We threw a plastic shower in there because we ran out of money. So we're like, just throw a plastic shower in there. It was like this $200 shower. I used it one time. It was just gross, right? Not very pretty at all.
Okay.
And now here are the after pictures.
I like this.
See? Isn't that pretty? Yeah, they fixed the window for us.
It looks like a
Put
dolphin.
that beautiful light.
It looks like maybe a dolphin or something.
Yeah, nice window there. I like the black octagon tile.
Flooring.
Yeah.
Floor looks good.
Floor looks sharp, right? They leveled it out for us, too, so you don't fall off the toilet.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Now, what's with the different shelves? And why is it in front of a chain link fence?
Well, those are the inlets right there, like the buildings. That's where you put the shampoo and all of that. Yeah.
Well, you have two of them, though. It's just that's
Yeah.
your wife's and that's yours?
No, this is my son's shower. We have our own shower. So this is the guest bathroom. And there's me in the shower. So it's good because you can see kind of the before and after of the completed project.
What we're trying to do, Derek, we are trying to do a professional radio, podcast, television show, whatever it might be, and you're flashing nudes.
No,
What are you doing?
I had a towel on. It was me emerging from the shower.
You look. First off, are you wet there? Did you
Yeah.
literally just get out of the shower? Mm-hmm. Somebody had to take that photo.
Yeah, it was Ashley, my wife.
Did she is this normal?
I just
She's
thought
waiting for you to
No,
come out of the shower.
well,
Did you stage
look,
that?
I want to deliver for our clients.
You look
and
like Tony Danza.
Steven and Ryan and Megan and the entire team over at
Steven
Chateau
and Ryan
Kitchens.
and Megan and the entire team does not need to see pictures of you coming out
They
with that
are
body hair. Why are you wearing a sweater in the shower?
An unbelievable partner of ours. And we've had this great relationship even before they started sponsoring the show because they did a magnificent job on
I
our
mean, the
kitchen.
shower looks fantastic.
They become friends of our family. Like that's how close we feel to the team at Chateau
but then
Kitchens.
why are you sending them topless photos?
I am trying to do everything in my power to sell
That ain't
Chateau
it.
Kitchens to our listeners and viewers because I want them to see, I want them to think of Chateau Kitchens and think, oh my God, beautiful, handsome, I need this. And so what better than me emerging out of the shower to connect that in people's brains?
No.
So you see the beautiful shower. It's called, have you ever heard of subliminal messaging? It's like this subliminal thing.
And that subliminal messaging is get the hell out of my house.
Where they see this attractive guy coming out of the shower. It's this beautiful palatial
The shower looks
guest
fabulous.
shower, beautiful tile, beautiful man. Emerging from the shower, still damp, still a little moist. I want that to be my shower. I want that guy to be me. Now, you know, I guess I have to put the disclaimer in there. Just because you use Chateau Kitchens, you're not gonna look like this coming out of the shower.
My name is Jake Query. I'm a professional broadcaster, both in a radio and television sense. And for those of you who are still sticking around and listening to my messaging and wording today, I'd like to apologize. I'm wearing the hat of Chateau Kitchen as a make good because as part of the sponsorship of this program, they didn't know that it meant that they were going to show half-naked nudes of Sasquatch emerging from a shower that they had replaced.
Don't be jealous of my body hair.
I'm not jealous at all, believe you.
Because yours is all gray and weird.
No, not at all. If you're still watching this and or listening, we thank you. And I promise you that is the last time that horrific image will be blazed among your retina. I will see to it. You deserve better with this show, and we thank you for your time.
Well, it just depends because I'm pitching a slip and slide company for the summer. Okay. So we did some shirtless stuff with me in a bathing suit for
There's
the
no
slip and
way,
slide company.
Zero chance, none, that is slipping anywhere.
I'm just saying. Well, you wet the slide. It's not, you know.
I know.
It's not
I
like
understand,
a dry
Derek.
slide.
I just got done doing qualifying
Okay.
for the Indianapolis 500-mile race. I know what happens when we have what's called drag.
Can we do bite or bull bleep now?
Speaking of drag, you look like one. In that
I just
shower.
worry about you and your maturity level when it comes to this stuff. So I guess maybe I shouldn't have posted it at all. Here's what we do with Chateau Kitchens bite or bull bleep. I give a statement. Jake and I go back and forth whether we buy it
We
or it's
haven't
bull
even done
bleep.
this yet?
We haven't because you were ranting about my chest hair. Bite or bull bleep. A Ganassi car will win the Indianapolis 500.
Really hard to go against that. But I do think, Derek, Joseph Newgarden has gone the most starts as a Penske driver without winning his first Indy 500 for Penske. He's tied Ryan Briscoe. This might be the year for him. Starting in row 5, hanging around, nobody's talking about him. They're going to come. Tim Cindric's going to come up with a strategy to get him up front, and then that car might be really good. I wouldn't sleep on Newgarden. And I like Pagano. But it's hard to go against Palou and Dixon.
Yeah.
Palou might be the one that wins it.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if it was a little bit out of nowhere. Do you think Tony Kanaan could win this race again?
Yes. So can Jimmy Johnson.
I mean, you talk about somebody that we never talk about, and he just.
I know.
We talk about Jimmy in qualifying, or Scott Dixon in qualifying, kind of reaching back and finding something. It feels like Kanaan always finds something, like just that extra level of speed. And it's just about for him staying clean because we know how aggressive that he can be because it's all or nothing for him now.
Right.
Now it's just, either win the Indy 500 or go home. I'm I'm going to take the field just because 28
law of averages,
cars,
right, right.
instead of 33. But yeah, it very well. What a qualifying weekend for Ganassi. I mean, they completely dominated both days. Luka is the next James Harden. Buy it or bull bleep?
No, I think he's a better player than that.
It's kind of early, right?
I think he's a better player than that.
What are we knocking the guy for? Did people expect the Mavs to even be here, much less win this series? I just think sometimes we just overreact to everything. It was like, suddenly Trae Young goes crazy against the Knicks and Sixers, and then he fails in the conference finals last year against Milwaukee, and it's like, oh, Trae Young stinks.
LaMelo Ball might be the next James Harden.
Yeah. Yeah, but he's such a great facilitator and everything.
You're right.
Kind of
That's
different games. No, I'm going to say bull bleep because I think more highly of Luka than that too. And you know what, Jake? With his body, I think he can be a competent defender. He's a thick dude. There's really no reason. Like Steph Curry can only do so much defensively, right? Because he's undersized, and he has become a competent defender.
Did you ever see Pee-wee's Big Adventure?
No. Pee Wee Herman always kind of creeped me out, and the movie theater thing happened like when I was like 10.
Okay. Did you ever see There's Something About Mary?
Yes, once.
Do you remember?
I don't like Ben Stiller.
Do you remember when he gets the binoculars and he looks up and it's Magda?
Yes.
Okay. That's what I feel like right now. I can't unsee that.
Your whole deal is you have to like make fun of me and put me down when you feel like you're being like when you're less than.
Derek.
It's a jealousy thing for you. That's what you default to.
When that picture showed up, believe you me when I tell you, I don't have to put you down at all.
I mean, we could put it back up for everybody to see. Like that, it's a beautiful man emerging from a beautiful shower. That's all that I was going for there.
The look on your face alone in the photo was horrible.
I was excited. About the shower.
Okay.
It's a great shower. I'm excited about how I look. Statement 3. Golf collapses are the worst type of sports collapses. Buy it or bull bleep?
I thought you were going to say the worst thing you could see on a screen, and I'm like, well, clearly not.
Okay.
We know that.
Okay. Did you hear the question? Golf collapses are the worst type of sports collapses?
Pretty rough one this weekend, right? It's pretty rough because it's a guy or a woman on the island by themselves.
It's like watching somebody. Have you ever been like outside with Shannon eating or at a brewery and somebody's trying to parallel park and they're not?
Funny you mentioned that. I was that guy. I was that guy this weekend in Fountain Square, and I'm a really good parallel parker, but it was like, oh my gosh, you kind of have like one shot to get it, maybe two.
Yeah. And then you got to get out of
and
the
then
way.
I looked across the street, and there was like 9 car lengths open, and I'm like, so I just,
yeah.
But
See,
yes, I get what you're saying. When I worked in
like
Broderpool, we used to guffaw over watching people try to.
I think it's just there's Schadenfreude, like people like watching the Patriots lose or athletes that you hate fail. But I think it's human nature to just be uncomfortable watching somebody fail. I mean, that was a life-changing potential win for Pereira. Is that Pereira? Mito? Pereira?
Yeah, that's right. Chilean, right?
And he would have been the first rookie to win a major in 10-plus years. I think it was 11 years ago, the last time that it happened. And to see a life-changing moment completely just
unravel.
Yeah, it was hard. So, yes, I think golf collapses are the absolute worst. We have NBA playoffs to get to. Boring.
Oh, good. Maybe we'll spice it up with more saucy photos.
And some sandwiches.
Okay.
Hoagies.
Now that I'm down
and quick
with.
hits. We got a lot to get to still today, besides my shower picks.
Okay.
By the way, Derek@QuarrieandSchultz.com if you want an NFT of me emerging from the shower. We're going to mint that and sell it. So.
Oh, maybe mint ought to be your
Talking
scent.
to my neighbor, he just graduated college, just got done with his fraternity, and he was telling me about NFTs. And so I think we're going to make that into an NFT.
I don't know what the NFT thing is.
And Bitcoin. And you can use your Bitcoin to buy my NFT. We're not going to talk about that, but Derek and Query and Schultz, if you're interested.
NFT, I got
it's a whole new world.
time for that.
It's a whole new world. It's Query and Schultz, ISC Sports Network. Back with more next.
College wasn't built for me.
I didn't care if I had to work a double shift.
Or if my kid had a fever.
Deadline's a deadline.
I want to set the deadlines.
I want to take tests when I'm ready.
I want to take courses on my time.
And speed up when I know my stuff.
I want a university that cares about me.
Tests on your time, courses on your time, graduate on your time. WGU, the nonprofit university of you.
Indiana dairy farmers provide us with safe, pure foods for our tables. A responsibility that takes intuition, resolve, and determination to make sure their milk is good for you and delicious to taste. Their connection with our community runs deep, passed down through the generations, ensuring that milk is always available at your store. It's not easy being a dairy farmer, but the rewards have special meaning when you can feed Indiana's families every single day. Learn more at winnersdrinkmilk.com.
Hey, I'm Jeff Saturday, and my favorite thing when I was a professional football player was Indiana. The Hoosier State always made me feel like family. That's why I trust Indiana's hometown mortgage lender, Bailey & Wood. This family-owned company not only gives back to the communities they serve, but also with their 5-star customer service, they can close on your dream home in days, not weeks. So remember, Indiana, you can always get your mortgages at a snap with Bailey & Wood.
Hey, Jeff, how does this look? Yay!
Not bad, bud, but let's stick to mortgages.
Welcome back. Bailey & Wood Mortgage Lender presents Query & Schultz, ISC Sports Network. BAWFG.com, by the way, for our friends at Bailey & Wood Financial Group. 855-350-HOME for Mike Wood and his team. Workplace of the Year, according to the Indy Star. Pretty cool
Really?
award.
That's cool.
Yeah, we talked about it last week
I
a
am
little bit.
breathing in, and I'm wondering if I'm catching the Cento Schultz you're talking about.
Oh, no, this isn't. This would be a delicious scent to have, but I can't trademark something that is not mine. This is the Hoagies and Hops scent here.
Well, bring it over. I'm hungry.
Because it is
I've been
time
up
for
since
our
6, Derek.
Hoagies and Hops hero.
I'll take the other side. I want the smaller side, though. I'm
Okay.
watching my girlish figure.
And Hoagie of the Week. Let me take this for me. Brought to you by our friends at Hoagies and Hops.
I get the wrap. That's nice.
Hoagiesandhops.com, 42nd and Boulevard. And what I have here is the Reading Terminal. Let me tell you what's on the Reading Terminal.
Okay.
Italian marinated tomatoes, banana pep, parm, provolone,
Derek, can
lettuce,
you say the
tomato,
name?
oil.
Parmesan.
Yeah, Parmesan. You don't like oil though, right? I do like oil on mine.
This needs no oil.
Well, I like it on mine. I like to do the sandwiches as is. But this is one, honestly, Jake, that I actually haven't tried from Hoagies and Hops before. So let's get the oil on there. Oh, I'm spilling a little bit on the. Is that okay, guys? I spilled a little bit on the ground. Good. You know what? I've had an appreciation for veggie sandwiches.
Can you
Like
wait
no
until
meat?
you're done eating?
I'm just saying. I want people to see how I'm enjoying it. I used to be
First
anti.
off, you got that Parmesan in your mustache. It's
Can
disgusting.
you get up there?
Why am I doing this? Why? I mean,
There it is. I got it.
of all weeks,
I got it. It was caught right up here. I used to be like a meat-only sandwich person. Like it has to have meat on it for me
Right.
to eat it. But I've become a veggie sandwich appreciator. And they also have a veggie there as well, but this is like kind of like their take on veggie. But the Italian marinated
it's very
tomatoes
good.
kind of make up for the protein, and then the banana peppers, it just has a lot of girth to it. It's good.
Your terminology sometimes.
Sorry, I got me coming out of the shower on my mind. That's why I use that term.
Speaking of girth, I noticed somebody was a little tubby around the towel.
Indy 500 week. I have put on a little bit.
Yeah,
Indy 500 week. So we've done a lot of our awards based on Indy 500 related things. Be easy to say Scott Dixon for this, but I thought this was pretty cool. Did you? I know you were at the track all weekend, so maybe you didn't see this. Did you see the Tim Anderson, Josh Donaldson brush up thing, baseball?
Peripherally, I saw.
Okay. So Tim Anderson's a pretty vocal guy on the White Sox, right? A guy that you like if he's on your team. You don't like him probably if he's not on your team. Josh Donaldson's just somebody that everybody seems to hate. But anyway, Tim Anderson said in an interview a couple of years ago that he wanted to be like the Jackie Robinson of baseball and take everybody's arrows and all of that. So Donaldson, mocking him, called him Jackie, but it was believed to be, Tim Anderson being African-American was believed to be kind of over the line.
Right.
You can only really joke with people who you like you and I are best friends, so we joke around all the time against each other and all that. Okay. And we but if somebody you don't like is joking to you, then that kind of goes over the line. So it's kind of an explanation that doesn't make a lot of sense. Anyway, Anderson in the Saturday game, that happened Friday night. Anderson in the Saturday game, White Sox are about to blow it open. It's a 0-0 tie in the 8th. They score 2 runs, and then Anderson launches a 3-run home run, kind of the exclamation point on the win, and starts shushing the Yankee fans who were booing him the whole time because that's how Yankee fans are. They're always going to back their guy. But I thought, good for Tim Anderson.
And that's against the Yankees.
Yeah. Who I'm a fan of, but yes.
Here's my hero of the week. Over the course of the offseason, occasionally in the racing world, I will get a young person that will reach out to me and say, like, hey, I'm really interested in racing beyond being a driver. I like the engineering side of it. I'm fascinated by it, things like that. When that happens, I've called Mike Hull, who is the managing director for Ganassi Racing. Said, Mike, is there any way I can bring a young person by the shop? Absolutely. Open door every time. Mike is open about it. And he takes us through the shop and he shows us, and it's fascinating. Here is a room of nothing but brake discs. And they're all numbered, and we know exactly how many miles they've had on them and exactly what track they were at the last time they were in the car, and they're serial numbered. What are you doing over there?
I'm having some problems with messages.
Can we get a shot of this?
Well,
let me tell you something. The Ganassi shop, you can eat off the floor, which you can do here now because we have half a sandwich on the ground over here.
I lost a couple of the banana peppers, unfortunately.
But it is amazing to see the meticulous nature in which Ganassi Racing takes apart their cars, checks everything, puts them back together. It is a fascinating, well-oiled machine. And then they put a well-oiled machine together, and not only in doing so do they put 4 cars in the 5 in the Indianapolis 500, but 2 of them starting right in the front row, and putting Scott Dixon on pole at the age of 41 with Alex Pillow just beside him. Mike Hull, for his dedication not only to growing the sport, but also in his meticulous nature in which he operates his own team, my hero of the week. And I am thrilled to say that those cars I have seen in as many pieces as Derek just spit out on our floor here in the ISC studios.
Michael, one of the nicest guys out there, too. One of the nicest guys that I've ever... I'll pick it up, Jake. I'll pick it up.
I want to show people here what we got. You keep talking.
I got some oil. Hold on.
No, you keep talking. I'm just
Well, I just took a bite. It's hard for me to keep talking. Mike Hull, one of the nicest guys out there. Hoagies and Hops, 42nd and Boulevard. Christina, Kenny, anybody that's in there, they're going to treat you well. Chili Water Brewing right next door. We've got the Growler right here. It's a great place. It's Midtown's best sandwich shop. It's actually Indianapolis's best sandwich shop. So if you're in town or around Midtown, check them out. Hoagiesandhops.com. Yeah, I did lose a couple of the banana peppers there.
A couple?
I'm sorry about that. Let's briefly talk NBA playoffs because there's really not much to say. The Western Conference Finals are basically over. We're taping this right now on Monday. I still think it's going to be Boston.
It's hard to say.
I don't say that super confidently.
It was impressive what Miami did in Game 2, though. Wire to wire.
Yeah.
Bam Adebayo is a huge part of what they do, but now Tyler Hero out. A lot's going to depend on Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, but he's such a bulldog that I'm not as worried about him. And I thought Game 3 was one of those games that you never really felt like the Heat weren't going to win. I get that it got a little hairy there. It got tight, but they kind of kept Boston at arm's length. I really thought the officiating was pretty one-sided towards the Celtics. I'm not usually like a complain about officiating type guy. I still think ultimately it's going to end up being Boston for some of the reasons that you mentioned with the health and all of that. But it'll obviously be the Warriors now coming out of the West. More than anything else, Jake, we had a great first 2 rounds, but it just feels like the playoffs have lost all momentum.
Right.
The conference finals has just been a complete snooze fest so far. These 6 games really have not been very competitive at all. And if they've gotten competitive, you've never really felt like the team in control has ever lost control. So it's either been a blowout or a game like we saw Game 3 between Miami and Boston, where Boston got close-ish, but Miami never really relinquished control.
We still have to get to our Sage Move of the Week. And, Derek, we're going to talk to those who are bringing the milk to victory circle at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
You sure are, Jake.
And we're going to do all of that upcoming on this episode of The Very Tidy. It's amazing somebody can be so clean in the shower and so disgusting in their studio. Aquarius. Beautiful.
Indiana dairy farmers provide us with safe, pure foods for our tables. A responsibility that takes intuition, resolve, and determination to make sure their milk is good for you and delicious to taste. Their connection with our community runs deep, passed down through the generations, ensuring that milk is always available at your store. It's not easy being a dairy farmer, but the rewards have special meaning when you can feed Indiana's families every single day. Learn more at winnersdrinkmilk.com.
McCulling in time. Oh, no! It's good.
This one is good.
There you go.
Wow, Dawson makes a great catch.
Spin, win, 3, bury it for Leland Walker.
Tie the game they do with the dunk by Malik Edmonds. What a play.
Oh, my goodness.
I feel a little momentum starting to fall Ellen's way.
That is
Wrestler! Wrestler! Whoa!
Hey, I'm Jeff Saturday, and my favorite thing when I was a professional football player was Indiana. The Hoosier State always made me feel like family. That's why I trust Indiana's hometown mortgage lender, Bailey & Wood. This family-owned company not only gives back to the communities they serve, but also with their 5-star customer service, they can close on your dream home in days, not weeks. So remember, Indiana, you can always get your mortgages at a snap with Bailey & Wood.
Hey, Jeff, how does this look? Yay!
Not bad, bud, but let's stick to mortgages.
Bailey & Wood, mortgage lender, presents Query and Schultz, ISC Sports Network. Thanks for joining us. Alongside Jake Query, I'm Derek Schultz. Happy race week. We have our milk presenters to get to coming up later on in the show, so we're going to be joined by Tim and Carrie coming up here in the final segment. We actually pre-recorded that from them live at the dairy farm.
Very fun.
And we're going to see them tomorrow for the fastest rookie luncheon. Thanks to our friends at American Dairy Association Indiana for inviting us back out for, hard to believe, Jake, now the third year. First time in person, because the last 2 years we've done it virtually. Right. So we've been at that studio.
I think I'm going to screw this up.
I saw the script last night, and I was going over it, and it looked like I was talking more than you. Did you notice that? A lot of the pieces were Derek.
You haven't sent me a script.
Sally sent one last night. You weren't attached on the email?
No, I was not.
Okay. Yeah, I have the script. It looks like I'm in there more than you. But they've also had 2 years to kind of do this thing. And this is generally what's happened with Jake and I in our history. We get invited together to do things. And if it's for multiple years, my role starts to expand because the organizers come to find out, hey, wait a minute, it's Query and Schultz, but one guy kind of outshines the other. I know outshine is wrong. One guy's better at this than the other person. And I think that the dairy folks have seen that, so I have more speaking parts than you do. I think you welcome people there, and then I'm not sure. I think you send them off, and I think everything else in between is me.
So I open it and I close it.
Including the driver interviews.
Okay.
So the meat of it is all me.
Now, most of the time, the driver interviews is you telling them who you are, right?
They already know.
Yeah. Okay.
Roman and I are on a first-name basis.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting, because his name's Roman.
Well, he calls me Derek.
I bet he does.
But yes, we know each other pretty well already.
Mm-hmm. How do you say his last name?
Grosjean.
Okay, that's better. You should Grosjean.
Yeah.
By the way,
Romain
if
Grosjean.
you're interested in taking French, maybe that's one of the foreign languages you want to learn, you can do it through WGU. WGU Indiana is the largest online accredited university in the state of Indiana. 700,000 Hoosiers have college credits, and they're in that gap between a high school degree and a college degree. Or it might be that you are thinking about going back to school for the very first time or trying post-secondary education for the very first time. No worries. WGU is here for you. Again, an accredited online university with a vast number of programs. And the best part about it, you can work at your own schedule because ambition never rests. That's the great thing about being able to go to school online, for example, through WGU. The ambition never rests. You can stay up, do it if you like after work, do it when the kids have gone to bed, whatever it might be that's best for your schedule. That's what you get on top of a fabulous education from WGU Indiana. WGU.edu/Indiana. Our Sage Move of the Week. Derek, I know you have your own, but I'm going to give one here real quick. Partially because of the name, but partially because I just like him, quite frankly. Sage Karam has started in the 11th row of the Indianapolis 500 4 times in his career. All 4 of those, he improved his position. Twice, he finished in the top 10 after starting in row number 11. This year, he said he just simply wanted to try to start in the 20s. He has done exactly that. Sage Karam has a really good car for AES Indiana and a great partnership with Dennis Reinbold and Dryden Reinbold, who believe in him. Derek, Sage Karam's been through a lot as a driver. We've talked to him about it. The accident that fatally injured Justin Wilson that was caused by Sage losing his car in Pocono. And he told me a really cool story about a couple of years ago in the 500, he was in the parade next to Stephen Wilson. And Stephen Wilson had with him Justin Wilson's 2 daughters. And Sage Karam had this huge hole in his heart, quite frankly, because he looked at these 2 little girls and he's like, their father was killed in an accident, even though it was not Sage Karam's fault, but an accident that Sage Karam had created. And the girls came up to him and said hello and asked how he was doing. And he said that gave him kind of this peace and this closure. And I think that he has matured and really rounded himself nicely and is now a guy that you really want to root for. And to be able to stick through that, to overcome the adversity, to plug through, to stick by a loyalty to Dennis Reinbold and put himself where he is in position with a good car in the Indianapolis 500, for me, Sage move of the week.
Yeah, I'll take that.
And his name's Sage.
I'll take that. He is an easy guy to root for. And unfortunately, Jake, he's just kind of been one of those guys where he's never really been given that full ride sort of chance.
Right. I mean, he had it with Ganassi, and then it was one-year deal.
Extended, you know what I mean, where you give him like a real look. And we've seen guys be allowed to fail and still keep on going. And unfortunately for Sage, it was kind of that one, and then that was it. But he's always run well, seemingly here. And even in the years where, I mean, you might look at a results sheet. There was one year that I think he finished 31st or 32nd, and but he was driving like crazy until he got a little over-aggressive and put it into the wall. But that's what you like for Sage. You like the guys out there that know this is it for me. You know what I mean? I'm going, you know what, to the wall.
He didn't go to his senior prom because he ran the Indy 500 instead in high school.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
What was the reason you didn't go to your senior prom?
I went to my senior prom.
Really?
Yep.
With?
Nicole.
Last name?
Peloso.
Really?
Yeah. She was from a different school.
The old different. How'd you meet her?
Yeah. American Eagle. I was the stockroom manager, and I was 17, 18 years old, and every single employee of the American Eagle was a 16 to 18-year-old female. It's the best job I ever had.
Nicole, what's her last name?
Peloso.
What year was she?
She was a junior.
You were a senior.
Yeah, she was from Easton, which was a more affluent town than Trumbull.
And did you date her for a while?
No. I always wanted to.
She a good-looking girl?
Oh, yeah.
Where's she now?
She had beautiful eyes. I'm not sure. She unfriended me on Facebook a couple of years ago. So I'm not sure what she's doing.
Okay.
Yeah, she's married. She has 2 daughters. Mm-hmm. One of them looks like she's around James's age, but I can only see her Facebook avatar because you're not friends with this person anymore. That's what Facebook keeps telling me. So,
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it keeps telling me, makes it sound like I'm clicking on her profile all the time. I'm not. One day I thought of her and I was like, I wonder what Nicole's doing. And it says, add friend. And I'm like, add friend? We've been friends on here for like 20 years. What happened? And then I realized I am not a friend anymore.
Are you friends with Blondie Girl on Facebook?
No more Blondie Girl either.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about the girl?
Blondie Girl was an
college?
AIM friend.
That's right.
AIM online friend. AOL Instant Messaging.
You know that. So when you were doing online messaging.
Yep.
With Blondie Girl.
Blondie Gal 1.
Okay. You know that was really Randy from Baton Rouge, right?
No, it was a real person. She went to UDEL. And she was blonde.
You just saw pictures.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you ever talk to her?
On the phone. Yeah, on my dorm phone. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pass
right. I
the
talked to
wall.
somebody that I think was Blondie Gal.
Right,
yeah.
I got news for you. That
Yeah.
was Randy's. What was the girl's name from?
Why are you bringing all of this up
Monte
on the show?
Teo's girlfriend. What was his girlfriend's name?
Lene Kakua.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it wasn't one of those situations, Jake. This was real people. Girls have been interested in me in the past.
Okay.
I think you know that. You've gotten messages before that I was a good-looking.
By the way,
somebody recently messaged you that I was a good-looking person?
What's that?
Somebody recently messaged you that I was really good-looking, right?
I don't recall.
You shared that on the show, I thought.
I'd like to thank Lou Malnati's, Derek, for being. This is the Lou Malnati studio, obviously. And listen, is there anything better in Central Indiana right now than the fact that Lou Malnati's, the trips to Chicago, we love Chicago, but the trips to Chicago just to get Lou Malnati's pizza, no more, because you can get it right here in Central Indiana.
Yeah, and even the frozen pies, which are delicious, by the way, tasteofchicago.com. Well, you heard, we had Mark on, and he was calling them pies. So the true pizza people, like the people at Malnati's, call them pies. I know you hate that.
I don't hate it.
You hate being termed pie, but that's actually what it is. But you've got the Broad Ripple store dine-in location, so you don't have to go all the way up to Chicago for that. They have a beautiful patio there. You can bring your dog.
Beautiful.
Also, pick up and carry out on the northwest side, West 86th Street, and in Carmel, and a new store coming in Greenwood. And I think they're even going to expand beyond that because people are thrilled now that they don't have to send away or drive away to get Malnati's pies because they really are delicious.
Pretty exquisite, no question about it. So we appreciate
you
them
and I
being
still.
on board.
You owe me a lunch date. Broad Ripple store.
Okay.
Yeah, you told me that we were supposed to go out and grab pies, Malnati pies.
Okay. I'll just sling some tomatoes right over to you.
Okay. Well. If you want to make a scene in public, you can do that in
remember
public.
That one time
I'm a little more muted on the show.
You remember when I perfectly hit your glasses with these?
Yeah,
that was
I
unbelievable.
That. It was the first show. I sent it actually to our Lou Malnati's people, Jennifer, and she replied, "LOL." She thought it was hilarious.
Of course.
And I thought, well, that was not the intention.
I
thought that she was going to.
It was left-handed too.
I mean, it was assault, really, more than anything else. It was assault. You were assaulting me with these tomatoes.
You know, if you get a pizza there, you get the salt and the pepper.
Okay. Can we edit that in post, Alan? I don't know in 2022 if that's even appropriate to do the Mario voice. We'll come back with quick hits and our milk presenters as well. Actually, do you want to do quick hits now? Let's do quick hits now.
Okay.
Because I have some good ones on here.
That's a quick hit.
There's a quick hit on here that is very relevant to Jake Query.
Oh, really?
So if you behave yourself, I will get to that. It's brought to you by our friends at Stewart Tire and Auto, Darren and Crystal King.
Saw Darren this weekend and Crystal.
The rest of the group. Well, Darren was at the track, I'm sure. Yep. Leighton, I know, was there too, his son, all weekend for qualifying. He's the biggest Indy 500 fan and IMS fan that I know. He's also a fan of giving you a good price and an honest price and great work on your car. Stewart Tire and Auto, South Side, Stop 13 Road in Indianapolis. Go in and see them. They can do anything and everything for you. Quick hit number one, Mito Pereira, we talked about this, already being compared to one of the worst collapses ever. Who is the fella? Van de Velde?
What was his lead?
Well, it was only one stroke going into 18, but he had a 3-stroke lead entering the day. He shot a 75, so it wasn't just 18. He had a bad day overall. But double bogeyed and then missed the playoff, which is kind of the insult to injury because you're not only did you collapse, you didn't even finish in second place. Hit his tee shot into the creek, and then he airmailed the green, and it was just an epic collapse. But Phil Mickelson at Winged Foot, whatever year that was in the U.S. Open, where he collapsed on the 18th hole, and then the ultimate one is Van de Velde in the British, right? 98, 99?
Yeah.
What year would that have been? You know the scene where he's got his pants rolled up, and he's, like, standing in the water trying to free his errant shot, and it's just bad. It was hard to watch. Hopefully this guy will have more chances at life-changing victories.
Younger guy,
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I have to look it up. I'm just not in it. Like, I am very much the casual, I'll watch the majors golf fan. Even though I'm fully aware of the fact that the golf fan base has really grown over the past couple of years. And, like, your co-host, Kevin Bowen, watches, like, every tournament, right? Yeah. So does he bring up
Woods gear?
Does he bring up this stuff and you're like, huh?
No, I mean, he's, unlike you, he's a little more professional about it.
Okay. I think you're the one that doesn't show professionalism, Mr. Tossy Tomato-y. Quick hit number 2.
Dang, I missed that one.
Top-seeded Florida Panthers down 0-3 in their series in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Dominated by Tampa Bay in Game 3. They lost 5-1. They are the President's Trophy winners, which means they had the most points
correct.
Right? For
President's
the season.
Trophy winner never wins it seems like.
Yeah, you're right.
My Flames are going all the way, Derek.
You want to hear a really unpopular take? Hockey, to me, is way too random of a game to have such an expansive playoff field.
That's fair.
Their regular season, like the NBA, is ridiculously long. If you're going to have a regular season that long, it should mean more. And you run into a hot goaltender, or, hockey's kind of like soccer.
You know what?
It can be a fluky game where you can dominate
question?
the whole game, and then you make one mistake and you lose.
I have a dumb question. I should know this. I covered a hockey team. Hockey, they don't have series in the regular season, right? It's not like baseball, right?
No, it's just like the NBA. You play one night and then, whatever. I don't know if they do home and homes.
Are you a Rangers
like the NBA
fan?
Does. Only when they get deep. So they're in the second round now. Usually it starts for me conference finals or beyond. Okay. But they're playing not the Whalers right now. And so there's a little bit more of a blood history.
Not the Whalers?
Yeah. The team that stole the whale.
Oh, isn't your buddy like in some club?
Yeah, bring back the whale. They meet at the Wendy's in Enfield every year.
And what do they do?
They talk about the whale. Yeah. Talk about bringing them back.
Is it going to happen?
It doesn't look like
Hartford Whalers?
Yeah, it doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like they're coming back. No.
Quick
Hit number
the
3.
Carolina Hurricanes, is that right?
I don't mention them by name.
Okay.
Former Oasis rock star Noel Gallagher got hit in the head, received stitches in his face after accidentally being headbutted by Ruben Diaz, his father, as the pair celebrated Manchester City's thrilling comeback to clinch the Premier League title.
Surprised it wasn't by his brother.
Gallagher, the famous musician and a big Man City fan, said that he was covered in blood moments after Pep Guardiola's side fought back from 2-0 down against Aston Villa to win 3-2 at the Etihad in a dramatic final game. I'm sorry, man. I just, the EPL stuff,
that was really well done.
I know it's popular. I know it's popular. I have friends that like their kids wear the jerseys. They wake up at like 7 a.m. and watch the games. It's just
Noel Gallagher,
I love high level soccer, but I can't. I have no emotional investment in that.
Oasis is fabulous. Did you know that he and his brother were in a cab accident on Washington Street in downtown Indy?
What?
Yeah.
No.
Google it.
When, in the 90s?
No,
they
like
haven't been
5 years
relevant
ago.
in a long time. Oasis hasn't been relevant in a long time.
Individually, they have.
Not really. They kind of have that one album. What's the story, Morning Glory? Don't look back in anger. I heard you say. And Champagne Supernova. Mm-hmm. Wonderwall. There was another one on there.
Hey, Lila. Wonderwall?
Revolver. Wasn't that? No, wait, that's Beatles. What was the...
All Around the World?
No, there was another Oasis song that was popular. What was that song called? I don't remember. I'll look it up. I'll look it up on Wikipedia. There was another Oasis one.
Lila.
That was pretty big.
Hey, Lila.
No, I don't even know that song.
Okay.
I don't even know that song. We're going to come back with the milk presenters. I'm looking forward to that. You already chugged your milk. I chugged most of mine. Tim and Carrie are going to be handing milk to the Indianapolis 500 winner in Victory Lane.
Big job.
Coming up on Sunday, we talk to them about the responsibility that all of that includes, and look forward to tomorrow's rookie luncheon with our friends at American Dairy Association Indiana to wrap up this edition of Corey and Schultz, ISC Sports Network.
Hey, I'm Jeff Saturday, and my favorite thing when I was a professional football player was Indiana. The Hoosier State always made me feel like family. That's why I trust Indiana's hometown mortgage lender, Bailey & Wood. This family-owned company not only gives back to the communities they serve, but also with their 5-star customer service, they can close on your dream home in days, not weeks. So remember, Indiana, you can always get your mortgages at a snap with Bailey & Wood.
Hey, Jeff, how does this look? Yay!
Not bad, bud, but let's stick to mortgages.
At an Indiana dairy farm, long workdays stretch into more labor after sunset. A newborn calf needs watching. Barn needs cleaning. Tractor needs some handiwork for tomorrow's tasks. Just like in your own home, the day's chores are never done until the family beds down for the night. Dairy farmers and their families share the same dream with all of us, that what we all do is worthwhile. Bringing to market pure, safe, and healthy dairy foods is what they do, from Indiana's dairy families to ours every single day. Learn more at winnersdrinkmilk.com.
College wasn't built for me.
I didn't care if I had to work a double shift.
Or if my kid had a fever.
Deadline's a deadline.
I want to set the deadlines.
I want to take tests when I'm ready.
I want to take courses on my time.
And speed up when I know my stuff.
I want a university that cares about me.
Tests on your time, courses on your time, graduate on your time. WGU, the nonprofit university of you.
Welcome back. It's Corey and Schultz here on ISC Sports Network. And of course, with it being race week, we're talking a lot about the great family traditions that people have when it comes to the Indianapolis 500, Jake. But the best tradition, I think, when it comes to actually race day, and I think this is unquestioned, is the chugging of the milk in Victory Lane. And on with us now are the two lucky fellas who get to be in Victory Lane with the Indianapolis 500 106th running of the race winner coming up here on Sunday. It's Tim Haynes, who is your veteran this year of Superior Dairy, and Kerry Estes, who's the rookie of Estes Dairy Farm. Guys, we really appreciate you joining us, and right from the dairy farm. That's awesome.
Yep. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Now, which farm are you? Are you in Garrett? Are you in Fountaintown? Where are you right now?
So we're at mine just south of New Palestine.
Kerry, unlike Tim, who is if I'm not mistaken, a several generation family dairy farmer, you actually just kind of woke up one day in the mid 2000s and decided, hey, I think we're just going to get a couple of cows and start a dairy farm. Do I have that story correct?
That's pretty much how it happened. That's right. My wife and I decided we wanted to have an occupation that we worked together and worked around our kids. We love cows. I love producing feed for cows, and thought this was an absolutely perfect occupation. I actually left a family business, all in good terms, but I left a family business to milk cows. So you can probably imagine the look on my parents' face when I told them I was going to do that, but they've been nothing but supportive since.
Okay, so I want to know this for either one of you guys. I mean, look, this is the greatest tradition in sports, in my opinion, as Derek had mentioned. But there's a huge responsibility with it, a huge responsibility. You can't, no, I'm just kidding. But it is, there's a lot of spotlight. There's so much that goes into it. A, do you feel pressure? And B, how big an honor is it?
Oh, I mean, always a little pressure, but the honor is unbelievable. The fact that we're representing 750 dairy farm families of Indiana and the rest across the United States, to present this, most perfect drink of milk to the winning driver. I mean, the closer we get, the more anxious it gets, and it just keeps building till race day.
No, I know from my perspective, being a rookie, I'm a football coach at New Palestine High School. I coached a freshman team out there. Ball security is absolutely paramount. And so for me, it's like I am holding that milk. I'm watching Jonathan Taylor out there, wrist above the elbow. I'm not going to fumble. Second, the exchange has got to be right. I never forget, we went down to the Colts free mini camp, and we're down there. And my daughter, who was 7 at the time, is getting a poster signed by Robert Mathis, and she's reaching this poster down. And this was the year that I think after he led as the sack leader, Robert Mathis is reaching up for this poster, and my daughter goes, "A cheerleader!" And she leaves Robert Mathis hanging totally. And so the transfer, yeah, no. I am not going to do that. I'm going to make sure it gets to the right person.
I was going to say, Kerry, you got to make sure you recognize the winner, right?
That's right. I got to find
Tim's there to help out. But here's the thing: if you're from New Pal, and I love the fact that you're a dairy farmer. Cow is, every year I say it, cow is my first word. I love cows.
Well, that's a good one.
You know a little bit about winning, so you shouldn't have a problem. If you're from New Pal football, then you're used to seeing champions, right? You're used to this in Victory Lane.
Oh, yeah. I love our New Pal football. I love the Indy 500, and I love being a champion. And I like being there at Victory Circle and being able to hand that milk to the champion.
Yep.
Tim, this is your third year now involved, your second year at the track and being able to hand the milk to the race winner. And look, last year's race was great, right? Elio winning his 4th and climbing the fence. It was this wonderful moment, but we had crowd restrictions last year. We had other COVID restrictions that were going on. Those are all gone for this year. So how excited are you to experience this race for the first time in having it be completely normal and having it be the real Indianapolis 500 experience?
Well, of course, I didn't get a chance to experience with nobody there. And I know that last year's made the comment that it was really different just having half of them. So I'm imagining it's going to be extremely exciting to have all the people there cheering. And as soon as we get to the track in the morning at 6 o'clock, we have people seeing us and wanting to get pictures of us and the milk and can we touch it? And so we have to guard that and get it hidden. And so, no, I'm sure it's going to be overly exciting.
I think one of the things, guys, that is so cool about this, I mean, we joke about it and we talk about, what a great tradition it is, which it is, obviously. But, people don't realize that racing in general is a team sport. I mean, the driver gets the glory in the milk, but you guys bringing up milk, they pass that around and everybody on the team gets a sip of it. I think of dairy farming in the same way, in the fact that you guys have a great responsibility and a great celebration here. But am I correct in saying it's not lost on you that you are representing all of the dairy farmers throughout Indiana that work year round to make sure that all of us have that proper milk nutrition?
That's it. Yeah. I mean, it is. I mean, and the fact too, like our farm, we put robots in 5 years ago. So the technology that we use, to help our cows and take care of them and do sustainable things, is the same thing that the race car teams do, the technology to tune these cars. And like you said, they're like a family, and dairy families are, that's what most dairy farms are, farm families. So you're right. I mean, there's just a lot of things alike between the two things.
Tim, last thing here, and I noticed this, we commented it off air. You have this, it's really kind of part of your brand now. We've known you for a couple of years being part of the Milk Presenter team. You have this great mustache, and it's no frills. It's not over the top or anything. It's just a good, solid, respectable stash. I'm trying to grow mine out here. I don't know if you could see on the camera.
Yeah, Derek.
And Jake
yours
makes fun
is
of me
terrible,
for it.
Derek.
I'm trying to grow mine out specifically for the race. So I wanted to know, do you have any tips for me? Because I'm kind of an infrequent mustache grower.
Have you been drinking a lot of milk? I mean, you've got to drink a lot of milk there and splash a little up on there while you're doing it.
Tim, you're not helping. You're not helping.
Even unintentionally, I end up getting some milk up on there just because the hairs just dip right into the glass jar there.
Oh yeah.
Knowing you guys, I can understand that.
19th year of the Milk Presenter. 89th anniversary of Louis Meyer's request for buttermilk in Victory Lane in 1933, and the 66th year of this official amazing tradition. Thanks so much, you guys, and best of luck presenting the milk in Victory Lane. And we'll actually see you tomorrow for the rookie luncheon coming up here with the American Dairy Association Indiana.
We're looking forward to it. Thank you for having us.
Thank you. And remember, winners drink milk.
Thanks to Tim and Carrie.
They were fun, man.
Yeah, they were a lot of fun. And I just love the Indiana Dairy folks. They've been so good to us over the years. That partnership dates back way early into the Query and Schultz radio days. And Jenny Browning, who's now ascended to their CEO, Sally Bonneau, who has been the person to invite us out to do the luncheon, Brooke Williams, who's their head of communications, and just everybody involved, all the dairy farmers that they have, their board, the whole deal, just a great bunch of folks who love the race, they love Indiana, and they love themselves some cows. That's for sure.
I love cows too. My first word. You know that. That's
right. That's what you said.
Love. I'm gonna pet cow someday.
You ready for Indy 500 picks? I guess we have to make them, right?
I guess so. Yeah.
How about we do just like a pool where winner, first out, podium?
Okay.
Because that's usually what we used to do.
That's
like,
fair.
You get your money back if you get first out. Money back for podium. I think runner-up we did. I think it was a $5 entry. I think runner-up was $10, and then winner got the rest.
This is tough, though, man.
Oh, it's impossible. It's really difficult to get all three of these even close to being correct because there's so much that happens that's really outside of the control of the driver. Sorry, am I out of the shot here? I need to.
There we go.
Really, no. I mean.
Oh, I want to make sure I was in the shot. I don't want to disappoint.
Okay, my winner. It's really hard for me to overlook Will Power or Alex Palou. I say Joseph Newgarden wins the race.
Yeah. He's too good to not eventually win one. Who's the rest of your podium, though?
The only way Scott Dixon's not going to win is if something happens to take him out. Gets caught up on a bad pit stop or. So it would be foolish of me to have Dixon in the podium and not have him as the winner. So if I say he's not going to win, that means something happens.
Yeah.
At no fault of Scott Dixon.
Okay.
So I will say Newgarden, Palou, Pagenaud.
Yeah, Palou is hard. Palou's on my podium.
He's way out. I mean, it's hard to overlook him,
He's been so good. I'm going to step out. I don't even know if this is necessarily stepping out because he's been fast and he's an unbelievable talent as well. I think Rinus VeeKay is going to win.
Really?
I'm
Okay.
going to pick VeeKay to win. if you were actually doing, I haven't looked at the Vegas odds. I would assume he'd probably be back like maybe 7th, 8th best.
He's like 30-1, I think.
Right? Well, 30-1 in this race is
right.
probably 7th or 8th best odds overall. I'll put Palou exactly where he's starting, so P2 for another year. And I don't really have a good feel on third. To me is somebody that's coming out of kind of nowhere. I just can't take the Andretti cars. It's just too much of a mess over there right now. And usually I'd put like Rossi or somebody like that on there because he always runs well here. But how about Sato for P3?
Okay.
And that'll be my podium.
Now you're first out.
Ooh.
I'll take Harvey or Montoya.
Should I be obvious and just take Stephen Wilson?
Just because like something goes wrong mechanically.
By the way, did you have a problem with that starting last?
No, I mean,
or starting without a.
They had to make an
lap?
engine change.
Okay.
What about? I mean, listen, it's times we live in, man.
Yeah. Thanks to all of our great sponsors, Lou Malnati's Pizzeria, everybody else involved with the show, American Dairy Association, Indiana, Hoagies and Hop, Stewart and Tire and Auto. Who am I missing?
Love Heating and Air.
Wood, Love Heating and Air, WGU Indiana,
Chateau
the whole
Kitchens.
deal. And thanks to Jordan and Allen
Except
as
for the
well.
picture of Derek and his towel.
That was perfect. We'll see you next time here on Corey and Schultz, ISC Sports Network.
Where is our rehearsal?